Good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. I think that the title of the show will be a little more understandable momentarily. I had to make a play on words because I was trying to be cute. But anyway, I think you'll have a full understanding of what I meant by the title because it actually does play into it. So anyway, can't think of anything to start off with before I really get into this. No real updates that I can think of. No, nothing I can think of. Been pretty mellow. Aside from the news, that's been far from mellow. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit, not about being selfish, not whatsoever. What I wanted to talk about was things self-related that folks want to be mindful of, because it reminds me, and I even hate to bring this up, because one thing that I really poke on is prepper channels that use movies or TV shows as ways to tell you or teach you how to prep or how to survive SHTF, because it's not realistic, not even remotely. And I would laugh every single time Canadian prepper would bring up The Walking Dead. I can't even watch them anymore, but he would consistently bring up The Walking Dead and start talking about how people, would react in reference to The Walking Dead, and like as if the way that The Walking Dead played out was real. And it stunned me. It truly stunned me. And I want to use The Walking Dead as an example of one of the myriad of things that I'm talking about with these self things. So if you have watched the series, and I watched most of it, then towards the end, after the Negan thing and all, it just got too far out there when, Rick was gone or what, yeah. And I don't get heavily into that kind of stuff anyway, but I figured, what the hell, I'll see what this is about, and it whatever, entertaining, I guess, if you will. But it was far from accurate. Who was picking up the trash? Who was mowing the grass? It was so far from accurate. So in there was a gentleman, and forgive me, I can't remember his name. But he's kind of a chunky dude. He had a mullet, and most of you probably already know who I'm talking about. And if I see his name, somebody in chat says his name, it'll probably go ding, ding, ding. But anyway, the idea behind this character is that he was kind of weak. He didn't know how to defend himself. He didn't know how to survive. And so what he did was he made up a story. And the story that, he made up was something to the effect of he had information that would help them fix this zombie virus or whatever, and that they needed to protect him to be able to get him, I believe, initially to the CDC or something like that, so that he could help them defeat this zombie virus. If I'm correct on that, I might have a little bit skewed. But nonetheless, the truth of the matter was, this dude had none of that. He was just scared. He made up a story. And others protected him for, again, it's a TV series, for a long time. And the reason why I wanted to point that character out is because that's absolutely not realistic. a whole long time went by before they figured out that that cat didn't know what he said he knew. And that's not how it's going to go. After the balloon goes up, if you will, and I kind of had to get a chuckle. I know I partially agree with Bear when he says SHTF is already here. Somewhat. We've got a far way to go before it's full on SHTF. If you can still go to the store and buy groceries, we're nowhere near full on SHTF. When all those stores are closed, then I'll listen to the SHTF argument. But I will say, we are definitely on the way. And once things really light off, once we reach that point to where stores are closed down, to where there's mass rioting, to where there's just absolute craziness, people are not gonna, for one, they're not gonna just trust others. And for two, not everybody's a blooming idiot. And a lot of these insincere people, a lot of these liars, are gonna get figured out pretty quick. And it's not going to end very well for them. We live in a society today to where people are allowed freely and openly, and they're in fact encouraged to do it, to just spew out absolute nonsense. Just right off the tip of their tongue. However it is they feel, whatever it is that makes them feel better. That's not going to fly so well after the balloon goes up. In many instances, whether it's just mouthing off to somebody, or whether it's trying to say that you know more than what you do, because there's a lot of people that's not going to have that. The reason why is because in many instances, with many cases, there's just not going to be second chances. And if you give somebody incorrect information on something and it causes a major screw up, guess what? So the things, I've got 4 things here, again, all related to self, written down here. And I'm just going to read through the list. And then we'll talk about it. Self-awareness, self-accountability, self-discipline, and self-determination. That's what I meant by selfish. There's a lot of selves there. So let's start out with self-awareness. Truly be aware of who you are and what you know. And that goes on both sides. If you truly do know something, I mean, you truly know it. You know it well. You've got a lot of experience. You've got a lot, then stand firm with it. Stand firm with what you know. But if you're just one of those people that like attention, or like to be right, or like to look like the hero, or whatever the case is, I don't particularly understand that. But if you're one of those individuals, you need to be self-aware of that. Okay? And you need to address it. Because in a truly post-SHTF world, it's not going to fly. I'm telling you, it's not going to fly. It will be a much different world. And a lot of it will be due to the heightened stress levels. And to be frank, a lot of people are tired of the BS. And I think a lot of people are tired of BS on all sides. They're just tired. And if you could imagine us being catapulted into a real deal SHTF, stores are all closed down, maybe the grid's down. That alone is going to put people on edge. Even if they didn't have this slow buildup that we've had for the past, well, I'm going to say 2 years, but you and I both know there's been a buildup in animosity going back decades. But especially the last couple of years, it's been really, really ramped up. So just be aware. Be aware of who you are and what you know. And don't bullshit anybody and don't bullshit yourself. Just be realistic with it. Self-accountability. Well, that has to do with exactly what I just said. And if you do make a mistake, own up to it. People are going to need to see honesty, integrity. They're going to need to see those things if you want to continue to have a relationship with them. If you want to continue to work with them to try to make it through whatever it is that you're dealing with. Accountability is huge. And it's not just accountability to other people, but it's especially accountability to yourself. Because if you're truly accountable to yourself, you'll be accountable to others. It'll happen automatically. Self-discipline. Well, I always do stupid little stuff to work on self-discipline, no matter how little it is. But you want to, even right now, incorporate discipline into your life, especially if you're somebody that don't typically have a lot of discipline in your life. You need to incorporate that now. However it is that you need. See, this is something that you can actually work into your everyday routine. Okay, I'll give myself an hour to do this, or I'll give myself 2 hours to do that. Just as one example of a type of discipline. And when I'm talking about this or that, I'm talking, let's say, leisure things. Let's say the me time. Let's say, okay, I'm going to discipline myself. Instead of sitting down and watching TV for 3 hours today, I'm going to only sit down and watch it for 1. I mean, it's a stupid example, but nonetheless, it's an example of what I'm talking about. Self-discipline. It's really important. And it will also help keep you in line with that self-awareness and self-accountability. And then lastly here, I've got self-determination. Because if you don't have that, chances are you're just simply not going to succeed. You have to be determined to reach your goal. And the harder it is, the more hurdles you have to cross to reach that goal, the more determined you're going to have to be. Because you're going to get slapped back and slapped down a lot. And you're just going to have to roll with it, keep moving, keep your eye on that goal, and keep striving for it. And it's going to take a lot of determination. A lot. In many cases, I would tell people to really assess your situation well before you do anything. As long as you've got time to do it, as long as you've got that time, really assess it. Think it over. Think it over clearly. And then start applying all of these things to the actions that you're going to take. Self-awareness, self-accountability, self-discipline, self-determination. Self-discipline, another good example of that. let's say you meet up with some other individuals, and let's say one of them starts mouthing off to you. Okay? Self-discipline, self-awareness, self-accountability, self-discipline, all three of those come into play right here with this one thing. Your smartest bet is to not try to escalate conflict. Why would you? To be a tough guy? That's stupid. Again, we're talking about post-SHTF. You do not want to provoke a conflict. There are people out there looking for it, looking for an excuse. That ain't your business. That ain't your business. You let somebody else teach them that lesson. Because you may decide to be a hero and wind up be the one being taught a lesson for any number of reasons. You could slip on a rock. You could, have a misfire. Any number of reasons. Or you just may not be as good or as quick or whatever the case may be. Why put yourself in that position? Have the self-discipline in that situation to keep your mouth shut. I think this is going to cost these things, the lack of these things are going to cost a lot of people's lives in the initial first period of the true SHTF. Again, we're on our way to it. We're not in a full-blown SHTF yet. We're not even close. But we're definitely on our way. And not having these things is really going to be detrimental to a lot of people. Like I say, especially in the beginning. Because that tension, that pressure that people are going to be under, man, they don't want no bullshit in any way, shape, or form. People just want to make it. They don't want to have to deal with a lot of drama, a lot of crap, a lot of anything. When people are in that mindset, right? People are in the mindset that the world's gone to hell. I've got a family back home. I'm out trying to go scavenge a little bit of food or something to help keep them alive. Somebody that has self-awareness, self-accountability, self-discipline, and self-determination, you think you want to screw with that person? I don't. Be that person. Be that person. I do think we've got a lot of ugliness on the way quick. I don't have anything really to report today. We did our grocery shopping today. There was a few items that were substituted and stuff. Wally World didn't have the frozen boneless chicken breasts that we wanted, so we had to pick some up from another store. But the other store had them. Just little stuff. I think there were 5 things substituted, and there was only one of those 5 things that they actually didn't have any, and that was the frozen chicken breast. Can't think of anything else. I mean, as far as the shopping went, prices were certainly up. Hamburger was up anywhere between $8 to $10 from the average. So yeah, that's pretty significant, because usually you can get it, I think, around $22 or something like that for the 10-pound tube that we get, and it was $30. So We did pick up a couple steaks because we never have anything like that. And I got to thinking, I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. Tomorrow's going to be a decent day, so gonna throw a couple steaks on the grill. I've got some beef brats. I've never had beef brats. Of course, I can't have the regular pork brats anymore. So we got some beef brats. I'm gonna throw some of those on the grill with it and see what those are like. And the steaks that we got, probably $1.50 to $2 higher than what they would be any regular time. So there's definitely beef. Beef is up where we're at. But the shelves, from my understanding, are pretty well stocked. There doesn't appear to be any mass shortages or anything like that. I had reported before when getting fruit from Walmart that it was really horrible. Really dry, just yeah. We got some bananas from Walmart, and those seem to be fine. They seem. I had one. Doesn't seem to be any problems with them. We got some grapes and apples from the other little local store here, and the grapes seem fine. They're actually mighty tasty. And the apples, I haven't tried an apple, so I can't report on those, but they look good. They're good looking apples. Well, you could kind of tell the others from Walmart when we got them. They looked a little dried out. I mean, it just didn't. I mean, it didn't even look real good. But that's really about the most I can say as far as grocery shopping. Not anything horrible here yet. That's what I'm saying. It's things are going in an absolutely horrible direction, but it's not SHTF yet. It's not even remotely. Now, don't misunderstand me. There's a whole hell of a lot of people that are having a whole hell of a lot of personal SHTFs. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to the nation as a whole at one time together SHTF, and no, we're not there. But most certainly there are millions upon millions upon millions of people in this country that are dealing with personal SHTFs right this very moment. I do want to show you something. I don't know what happened to me. I love it when it's like that. I don't know what happened to me for me showing you this, but I'm going to show you anyway. How's that sound? I give no damns, I believe is the words. Let me get this drug over. And, okay, so I'm going to play this, and YouTube, this is a representative in our government. And so all I am doing, YouTube / Google / NSA, FBI, CIA, all I'm doing is, disseminating the information from our representatives of Congress. So, my job. Go figure. Let me get this switched over here. You may or may not have seen this. You may have seen part of it, whatever, but we're going to play it real quick.
Now I'd like to invite the best-dressed sheriff from Louisiana, Clay Higgins.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the oppressor's intent is for you to comply with their mandates and commands. And they don't expect for you to comply with their commands until the end of COVID. They expect you to comply with their commands until the end of time. Let me be very clear. To all you oppressors, you've drawn a line in the sand. Be prepared to defend your position, because some of us are free Americans and we would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. If you want to get a vaccine, get it. If you don't, don't. That's called freedom. Freedom is what's at stake, and some of us are prepared to carry that fight with every drop of our blood. On January the 3rd, 2023, Republicans will be sworn into the majority in this House behind us here. The hallowed halls of Congress shall once again be under the control of Republican conservatives. On that day, myself and many of my colleagues will introduce legislation to reinstate my military brothers and sisters with full pay back into your rank. So stay hard, stay strong, stay in shape. We're going to get you back in your slot. And to my business brothers and sisters out there, do not comply. Use Article 3. Put your attorneys to work. Stand your ground. You have about a year to make it and survive. You can do it, but stand for freedom, and you'll find yourself in the company of patriots from sea to shining sea. Thank you, my good friend, for arranging this conference today.
Thank you.
Okay. I think I'm back up. I honestly don't know what happened there. I don't know what all you missed. That's crazy. I don't know if I can back up and see. Did you guys? Yeah, it looks like you guys got to see that video. Did you get to see all the video and then it quit? That's kind of interesting. That's real interesting because I didn't hit no buttons to end the stream whatsoever. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, like I was saying, that was Representative Clay Higgins, I think 3rd District from Louisiana, if I remember correctly. We need more like that. We need more like that. We need more that understand that, you know, we the people is what matters. And, you know, it can't be we the people after they brainwash and fearmonger and you know, coerce and do everything that they do to get people to go along with their agenda. Because it's really a small minority of people that are good with what they're doing. A really small minority. And the media blows it up. You just look on social media. Look on any news channel, you know, on their Facebook page or whatever. Look when they post something about vaccine mandates. Read the comments. You won't find many in support. You won't find many in support. And that should be very telling. So don't believe them when they make it seem like you're in the minority for how you feel. Because that's exactly what their intent is, and that is exactly what they're trying to do. Trying to make you feel like you're all alone and you know, from peer pressure, you're better off just going along. That's never worked on me. I didn't allow peer pressure to get me to do things that I didn't want to do. So I know it when I see it. I can see pressure, you know, people pressuring, guilt tripping, stuff like that in a heartbeat. That's what the government's doing in every way they can. They're threatening people's livelihoods, their paychecks, they're threatening, I'm telling you, it's going to get ugly. I don't think, regardless of what happens with the courts and all of that, regarding these vaccines, I don't think it's going to stop this administration. You have to understand, we've got 3 years of this administration left. And they have no care, and they've been just right out and open about how they have absolutely no care about your constitutional rights. They have no care about the process to actually create law. They just sign a bunch of executive orders, do this, that, and the other thing. How many people now have gotten jabbed that would have held out had they known something else? How many are kicking themselves right now for giving in too soon? They are going to keep coming at us with different tactic after tactic after tactic. They will try to hit every single walk of life, every single socioeconomic group. They will try to hit everybody. I don't know what this is all about. I'm not going to sit here and cite any particular conspiracy theory, and when I say those words, I don't intend them in a negative way. But I'm not going to entertain anyone in particular over the other or anything like that, because it really kind of doesn't matter. Not from where we sit. Our role, our tasks are still the same. And that's where we should be putting our focus. Not playing conspiracy games. We have to try to find the truth. But let's try to find the truth and not find good entertainment. I think there's a lot of folks that look for the entertainment value of doom, if you will. Like I say, going back to what the topic was, those 4 things are going to be huge: self-awareness, self-accountability, self-discipline, and self-determination. Let me go ahead and jump on headlines, and I'll get those started because we do have quite a few, and get those out of the way. Let me have a little bit of coffee here. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. See, I didn't get any warnings about it being a, and I didn't think it would be anyway. But, well, maybe you don't know. But if you live stream say I play somebody's music on here, copyrighted music on here on this live stream, it'll play for so long, and then they will kick me off the live stream. They'll just flat kick me off the live stream. However, when they do that, it like freezes, okay? And you guys get to see, it shows a certain screen. And that did not come up. Literally, my connection to YouTube was severed. It didn't end it didn't end the show, so to speak, on YouTube server side, but my connection was ended. It's kind of interesting. So anyway, let me kick over to the browser here. I do have sports related. Never mind. All right, so obviously we're starting with Friday's news here. Let's see. Watch climate activists accost Democrat Senator Manchin over Biden's bill. Rittenhouse trial witness says teen fired at exact moment when victim lunged towards his rifle. A lot of interesting stuff with that trial. MSNBC guest trashes Virginia's first black female lieutenant governor as mouthpiece for white supremacy. Yep, it actually happened. GOP Congresswoman mocks AOC's tax the rich dress. She had a dress with Let's Go Brandon. U.S. turns into battlefield for crypto innovation contest as New York City mayor wants to out Bitcoin mayor of Miami. Poisonous smog hangs over Delhi after Diwali celebrations. Google employees push back against company's reported plans to help the Pentagon. Dutch Supreme Court backs Russia over Yukos oligarchs in $57 billion arbitration case. U.S. Marines deny British commandos dominated them during war games. Remember, that was a a headline back, I guess, on Thursday, I believe, was when I covered the headline. Why am I calling it a headache? Let's see. China reveals list of punishments for die-hard Taiwanese secessionists. Russia and China's new bid to scrap sanctions on North Korea will likely be blocked by the U.S., but it could relieve nuclear tensions. OPEC and allies reject Biden plea to open up oil taps to cool down prices. Iran reveals increase in 60% enriched uranium stockpile. So yeah, now they claim to have 25 kilograms, I believe, of enriched uranium. Well, that is enriched up to 60%. Tensions with that are definitely getting worse. And again, I look at all this stuff. And then I have to just look at that glaring fact of how all these nations are so lockstep in together with certain things, I'll just say. And it really makes me question just how much they're really at odds with one another. A Russian diplomat found dead outside embassy in Berlin. Let's see. Mother backs teen transgender golfer as he sues U.S. lawmakers amid rights group pledge to continue the fight. I asked the question on Facebook whether we were Sodom or Gomorrah, because I'm not sure. I'm just kind of curious. I mean, I believe the truth of the matter is it's more like Babylon, but, you know. Czech president says he's fit to serve for 2 more years after month-long ICU stay. The $1 trillion push to decarbonize global shipping. There's a good article on it. Pfizer, we're still on Friday's news, by the way. Pfizer stays mum about price of its new game-changer anti-COVID-19 pill set to compete with Merck's drug. Spire warning customers about potential shutdown in December. Believe I covered that. MPs' addresses and phone numbers stolen in cyber attack, says reports. NASA craft to crash into asteroid for Earth defense test. So it's going to smash into the asteroid for a defense test. Global food prices hit 10-year high amid supply disruptions, factory closures, and political tensions. I believe they're going to get a whole lot higher. A feminist group mobbed by Orthodox Jews after scuffles at Western Wall. Let's see. France orders lockdown for domestic fowl over bird flu threat. Nikki Haley's jab at U.S. gerontocracy, I don't know how to pronounce that, trashed over ableism, hypocrisy, and ignorance. Turkey arrests 7 for alleged ties to exiled cleric Ankara blames for coup. COVID vaccine effectiveness drops as low as 13%, says a U.S. study. A knife-wielding man shot dead outside vaccine center in Madrid. Banning anonymity online won't curb hate, Twitter official says. Beijing blasts Pentagon's deliberately concocted Chinese threat report. Again, we're still on Friday's news. Flash floods lash Bosnia, causing blackouts in Sarajevo. Is it Sarajevo? Something like that. Latinos graded by skin color in COVID discrimination poll. A hotline set up to find victims of necrophiliac killer. Pretty crazy. Angry Brits scold BBC for attacking presenter who was against removal of portrait. Macron's ex-security aide given 3-year sentence over protester assaults. Bomb threats reported at Yale University in Connecticut. Remember, this was news I put out on Friday. A new FBI report definitively proves Russiagate, which dogged Trump's U.S. presidency, was made up from the start. I can remember when he got completely chastised and attacked for even suggesting that it was made up and that the people that were responsible for making the stuff up should be, legally charged and dealt with. We might see that. We might actually get to see that. I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath on anything. But I would have never have gotten, thought that it would have gotten at least, this far in a fair assessment. And it has. So, who knows? Chicago schools closed for Vaccine Awareness Day, and New York City pays kids to get jabbed. Biden's energy secretary laughs at question on high U.S. gas prices. Just laughed at it. The same one, by the way, that I did the video on, that on the State of the Union show, talked about how you will pay higher heating bills this year. Laughs at higher gas prices. Another country passes law on firing unvaxxed workers. 1 million mask march protesters clash with police in London. Again, I'm on Friday's news. New government tool asks Americans for vax status, mask wearing habits. Austria to ban unvaccinated from long list of public spaces. Dozens injured outside Baghdad's green zone as clashes erupt over Iraq election results. Again, Friday's news. BioNTech shares nosedive on news of whistleblower report and COVID pills. World food prices are up 30% in a year. Like I say, they're going to go up quite a bit more. A NASCAR head vows to crack down on unofficial Let's Go Brandon merch. I'm pretty sure they can't. And the reason why I say that is because there are things called parody laws. And as long as it's a parody, which this clearly is, I'm pretty sure they don't have a leg to stand on. It's what? Oh, Okay. Ashley Biden diary appears to be real as FBI raids Project Veritas linked homes over its theft. House Democrats, joined by 13 Republicans, pass $1 trillion infrastructure bill. Oh, we did start yesterday's news. Sorry, we started yesterday's news on the Ashley Biden story. So, okay, let me have a sip of coffee on that. And a vape. Oh, fun times. Okay. So again, this was news I shared out yesterday. 2 U.S. Special Ops trainees died during combat diving course, prompting safety concerns, says reports. 8 dead in stampede at Astroworld Music Festival in Houston. New Zealand PM refuses to say if China is ally or adversary and abstains from calling U.S. a leading democracy. Australia fully vaccinates 80% of eligible adults. Let's see. Up to 100 fear dead in blast following fuel truck collision in Sierra Leone. 3 injured in knife attack in train in Germany. Detained attacker is of Arab origin, says reports. Oil markets get another bullish jolt as Saudi Arabia cranks up crude prices for global exports. A large fire kills 10 ICU COVID-19 patients in Indian hospital. Snowden is unimpressed with Bezos' spending habits. Calls it ruthlessly unimaginative. Russia and Iran believe nuclear deals should be revived in original form, says Moscow. Let's see. Pardon me. Let's see. Apart from words, little to nothing is done by French Catholic Church to protect kids, sexual abuse survivors tell RT. This is what I've been screaming about for so long. Nothing is being done. And we, the people, I mean, and I'm referring to us in the United States, but those, they, the people too, are doing nothing. We are aware of this. We know this problem. The governments aren't doing anything about it. So do we just forget about the kids and say, oh, the hell with it? I don't get it. And I never will. I never will understand how such a large group of individuals do nothing for something so serious. I'll never understand it. Georgia authorities sound alarm over insurrection directed from jail. Let's see. Apparently maskless Schumer celebrated indoors in Puerto Rico. Try doing a hard reset. Just hold the power button until the computer shuts off and then restart. Kaiser Permanente workers plan to strike on November 15th. That is one of the largest healthcare agencies in the country. And, yeah, what was it? 32,000 employees? That's kind of a big deal. Let's see. All children will have to take COVID-19 jab in Costa Rica. Separated migrant families deserve compensation from the U.S., Biden says. Again, this is yesterday's news that I put out. Federal court freezes Biden's vaccine mandate for businesses. What did I share that? Two different articles? Huh. Oh, no, I shared out my video. Sorry. I'm a tard. Clashes arrest as hundreds protest against COVID mandates in Leipzig. FBI swoops down on Project Veritas James O'Keefe home in Ashley Biden diary theft investigation. CNN deploys Sesame Street Muppets to promote vaccines to children. Police say security guard possibly injected with prick to neck as 8 die at Travis Scott concert. I think he was trying to, subdue somebody or keep somebody restrained or something, and apparently somebody walked up and jabbed him in the neck with something, and I believe he lost consciousness. So I don't honestly know anything more. Oh, well, they gave him Narcan, and that's all I know. So, let's see. Bennett said to Biden, Jerusalem is the capital of Israel only. Elon Musk puts 10% Tesla stock sale to Twitter poll and promises to stick to the result. Rocket strikes home of Iraqi PM in failed assassination attempt amid election protests. Let's see. Finally, took Jen's computer forever to boot up. I don't know what happened to it. It just froze. Kind of an interesting night, is it not? I believe I said that one. Okay. Let's see. Now we are to this morning's news, actually. That deserves another sip of coffee. We finally got some of those Coke coffee things, whatever the hell you call them. So I haven't tried them yet, but okay. I thought this headline was kind of interesting. U.S. offers to assist investigation into alleged assassination attempt on Iraqi PM. Well, the interesting thing is usually terrorists run right out to make claims on attacks like this. And the truth of the matter is they're, from my understanding, saying they didn't do it. And I have my suspicions as to who may have been behind it. But as usual, they would like to investigate themselves, and I would leave it at that. Iraqi Shia group spokesperson calls assassination attempt on PM fabricated incident. That's, yeah. New U.S. Navy ship named after gay rights icon and christened by transgender veteran receives mixed reception. Gee, I wonder why. Trade turnover between Russia and China tops pre-pandemic figures despite traffic jams at border crossings. Drone attack on Iraqi PM must be traced back to foreign think tanks, says Iran. Terrorist attack on Iraqi PM's home involved 3 drones, says the Interior Ministry. Let's see. Candace Owen rages against New York child vaccination campaign. Get booster jabs so we can enjoy Christmas, says the UK Health Secretary. Russia gives gloomy estimates for global pandemic losses. Critics fume as education official says she and others needed to flout mask mandate at event. A Goldman Sachs-backed Russian firm makes a hit IPO in New York. Let's see. Always ready for U.S. and Israel, Iran launches massive military drill. Thousands across Italy want COVID Green Pass scrapped. Armed American ships probing Russia's defenses in Black Sea, says Moscow. Head of Bavaria offers solution to gas shortage ahead of approaching winter. Top Russian banker names major reason for European energy crisis. Ukraine could have bought cheap gas and avoided man-made energy crisis, the ex-PM Timoshenko reveals. A lot of Shinkos over there. Assange and fiancé sue creepy elements of UK government, and here's why. Bizarre clown abortion segment on Saturday Night Live leaves viewers puzzled, and I watched it, and it was kind of bizarre. It was weird. It's like it didn't even fit. I mean, it's crazy, the agenda and how they will push it. 4 charged with attempted murder after attack on father and child in Moscow. Let's see. Explosion destroys cafe near Kazakhstan's Caspian Sea frontier. Biden administration prepared to defend COVID-19 vaccine mandate even after appeals court freezes it. I'm telling you, there's going to be a heck of a back and forth. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable, and I don't think that the powers that be plan to give in anytime soon. Police investigate suspicious Facebook ad after 12 passengers vanished from plane during an emergency landing. Kind of weird. Ukraine can't confirm U.S. media reports about Russia's supposed military buildup on the border. Here's the interesting thing, and I meant to talk about this, and I forgot to mention it earlier. So, you've got Russia saying, no, not doing nothing. You've got the Pentagon here saying, no, we don't really see anything, too out of the ordinary. And then you've got Ukraine saying, no, we're not really seeing anything either. We don't understand what the motive behind saying there is something going on. We don't get it. But you've got certain individuals in this country that are insisting that it's going on. Sound a little strange? Warhawks warring, or I should say Warhawks hawking. New York's Ivy League University campus evacuated over bomb threat. Americans should expect to pay higher heating costs this winter, says Granholm. Protesters against vaccine mandates square off with counter rally in Boston. A veteran care worker loses job over vax mandate and blasts government in emotional video. She's was a UK health worker. Let's see. Elon Musk speaks out after internet votes yes to him selling 10% of Tesla stock. Actually, I think that was... Oh, no, it actually wasn't in the headline. And that is... That's the headlines. I made it through without them kicking me off again. That's just awful interesting how I played that video and I'm just... bloop, disconnected. Found it interesting. I'll have to see what happens after the show, you know, gets all done processing and stuff like that. See if they slap me with copyright or anything. I don't think it'd be a serious copyright. You know, I mean, there's kind of like two types of copyright with YouTube. You know, there's the copyright to where nothing really happens. You just can't monetize it and somebody else might be making money off of it. And then there's the kind of copyright to where you get your you know, pee-pee schwacked and, you know, you get an actual strike for it. So, a guideline strike. So, anyway, I don't think that'll happen, but they might do that. Well, they don't. My live shows, I know I did the video talking about how I've got, you know, over 90 consecutive monetized videos. That's my uploads. My live shows, they very, very rarely monetize. So... And I'm cool with that. I get that. Just as I said in that video that I made, you know, my live shows, I throw out a lot more opinion than what I do in the videos that I make and upload. And so I'm not going to argue that, you know. I mean, it's my opinion. It would be awful narcissist of me to think that I deserve to get paid for my opinion. Who the hell am I? You know? Just it blows my mind, the individuals that think that, you know, they absolutely have a right to their freedom of speech. They don't have a right to speak at whatever they want on any platform they want. That's not a guaranteed right. And you damn well aren't guaranteed to get paid for it. What kind of entitlement is that? So I don't sweat. I don't sweat when they demonetize the live, because I get it. I understand. It's a lot of my opinion, and I shouldn't expect to get paid for my opinion. Anyway, I am gonna get on out of here. Tired and just want to relax, and God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll start again. I think we're gonna be in for a busy week, so get prepared for that. And there is a little bit of lightening up, you know, over the weekend, obviously. But I think that we've got a long, long week to go. So, anyway, I am out of here. Hope to see you here tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.